Hi and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to analyze the final and last movement of Ravel's sonatine, animé. It is a devilishly difficult movement that even Ravel himself chose not to perform during tours. If you haven't watched my previous videos on the previous two movements of the sonatine, I highly recommend you do, because there are certain themes and motifs that reoccur in this final movement. The piece begins with a sweeping gesture, shared between the hands, outlining D sharp half diminished. This figure later remains in the left hand, while the right plays a theme, which we shall call the A theme. We can see that the theme opens with a rising fourth, which is the retrograde of motif X. Sharp and angular, theme A brings to mind trumpet calls and responses. A downwards cascading motion then brings us to a minor theme, which only appears twice in the entire movement. The melody is rather simple, mainly pentatonic, and never exceeding the interval of a major third. Yet, it is the chromatic accompaniment which propels the music forward and gives a sort of flavour to this passage. We can imagine the accompaniment as half diminished chords moving in parallel motion. And looking at the soprano and tenor lines, we can see the strong dissonances, the minor ninth, and the major seventh, are always approached by contrary motion. I can't help but point out the similarity with Rachmaninoff's famous prelude in C-sharp minor. We can term this section as A1 of the exposition, and it is in F-sharp minor. Next, we go into the A2 section, which is in B minor, and the A theme returns with a different accompaniment, which we'll see more of later on in the development section. A2 is more or less a repeat of A1, with the minor theme now transitioning into the B section. A closing figuration then helps to link the two sections together. The B section is in E major, the dominant of the relative major A major, and theme X from the first movement makes a return here in 5/4 time. Ravel plays around with tempo changes, presenting a calmer version of the theme. And then launches back into a busy figuration shared between the hands. The melody here is derived from theme X. Interestingly consisting of only 3 notes, and Ravel's masterful harmonic manipulation leads us back into A major. A final brilliant statement of theme X is played in the closing section of the exposition, and we see how Ravel modifies the theme to suit the underlying parallel harmony. The development section begins, and Ravel finds new delight in the accompaniment of the A2 section, discovering a new motif and elaborates on it further. We can call this motif Y. Theme A returns and later undergoes rhythmic changes. In general, with the static harmony and thin textures, this section has a rather ethereal effect on the listener. The second development section places the spotlight on theme X, with Ravel simply shifting a whole step downwards in each reprise. He then cleverly shifts the melody into the left hand. We reach the recapitulation, and we are now in E major. Theme A returns, and the use of motif Y is even more prominent. This is my favorite moment of the movement, with the theme at its lowest register, and the feeling of returning home. We go into C sharp major, then F sharp major, fragmenting the theme further, and trilling off on motif Y as a transition to the B section. The B section is nearly identical, to that of the exposition. It begins in C sharp major, which will lead to F sharp major in the closing section, similar to the movement of E major to A major in the exposition. In the coda, Ravel simply expands on the closing bars, placing a heavier emphasis on the descending fourth motif X and the use of parallel harmony. In the last movement of my Opus 1, I took inspiration from this passage to close off my work as well. Ravel ends off with an arpeggiated F sharp major chord, cheekily adding in an A natural, which is the minor third, to give the chord a Ravelian flavour. The key movement of F sharp minor to F sharp major parallels that of the first movement. So that's the end of the video analysis. I hope you enjoyed. This concludes my analysis on Ravel sonatine as a whole, and if you found these videos informative to you, do let me know down below in the comment section. And do subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. I plan to upload a couple more analysis videos on other composers as well. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.